that chord? Recognize it? How's everybody's ear training? Okay, it is December 11th. This news is probably going to be fairly short for a couple of reasons. Not a lot of new stuff this week, and there's kind of a good reason. Hopefully next week we will start bringing in some guest teachers. I had a bit of an accident. Finger got stuck between a metal... you don't even want to know. But it was tetanus shot and stitches. Very painful. Doesn't look too bad right now, but anyhow, I tried to make it a hinge bar last night, working with Chris on Lady Nothing. And that was almost the end of his lesson. Okay, but don't worry, I'll be fine, I'm sure, in a week or two. But new stuff is gonna slow down a little bit. But we did have a few new things. I want to thank Vanessa for. I shouldn't have tried that. Must be an E minor. One of my all-time favorite songs from Superstar. Some great tunes in there. Well, anyway, you get the idea. Let's see, what did happen this week? I want to bring up a couple of things. I want to thank Vanessa for her lesson. Oh, started a new series of stuff that sort of grew out of our DVD project that we told you a little bit about last couple of weeks ago. And that is a series of things I shot as part of the package that were called Inside the Mind, and it was really just thoughts, answers to questions and musings about various things. And I think we have a few of those, so those will have to help out over the next week or two with new stuff. Also, we're going to bring in my buddy Max Rich to do a few acoustic lessons based on maybe like electric theories or something like that. We'll see. I think that's all in the pipeline. So coming up, hope to have something up by Max on Monday. I hope some of you have checked out things at TEG, Totally Electric Guitars, as we sometimes call it around here. There is some really cool stuff there, and we're trying to get it as rolling and as much as we are here with us. So let's see, what else did I want to talk about? Superstar, Inside the Mind, we got that. Charts. Welcome, John, new member, Target Light, I think, and picked up a couple songs and was asking about chord charts. And after, in the early, I still didn't even do them very often in the early days. I usually just showed you how to play a chord. But in the early days, man, I'd show you an E chord and an A chord and all that stuff. After about 500 lessons, figured that's enough. You know what, you got to know some of those chords by now. But if there are songs that they're not, so I'd really like to hear from John or anybody that thinks charts would be particularly useful for specific songs. And when I'm talking about a chart, diagrams, like you see in a lot of places. I guess that sort of leads me into much of the stuff that, well, let me think. I'm not sure I even want to go there, but it's little things like fret markers and stuff, like why do I play a guitar without fret markers? And I hope in most of the lessons where anything is up the neck, I'm very specific about, okay, I'm at this fret or whatever, although sometimes, and this would not be accidental, I might just use the name of the note, thinking that, you know what, it's good to know the names of the notes up the neck. So, yeah, we could be up here, could be at the 8th fret, and I say, hey, it's G, and you gotta know where on the 2nd string G is. that one up because I noticed a comment, and it turns out it was like echoing one from a year ago about that particular lesson, that I should do a tab on. I think I faked in the middle of the lesson, said, and here he goes into a piano solo, and I probably did something like that, strumming it. And yeah, I should tab that out. But I'm certainly open to any suggestions that people would have about specific lessons. And we've done this before. People would sometimes say, hey, you know what, could you do a tab for that solo that you made up in the middle of something or other? And I usually try to get around to that. So don't be afraid to ask about things that seem like they would make existing lessons better. Not likely that I'm going to go back and like redo a whole lesson with a guitar with fret markers because there are just too many to do or something. But if there are ones where you're a little confused because of something, because I wasn't very clear, please bring it to my attention. So let's see. I think that was most of what I wanted to get to there. Well, as long as I just use the tip of my finger, it's okay. It's when I try to get on the side, because that's where the stitches are. I've been really missing playing the guitar because it's the one I keep in the other room, I even put it way like back in the case because I thought, you know, if I'm tempted to pick it up, I'm only going to get hurt. So let's see, I think that's probably all I have for today, and hopefully next week we'll be back on track. I do have a couple of cool fly on the wall videos that I was going to bring out in case of emergency, and I just didn't even get to it this week, partly just because the general I don't know, lack of motivation and depression over not being able to play. So I shouldn't even bring that up. Should have thought of that. Right there, there's a little hinge bar that happens at the 2nd fret. That's what happens. I start playing these tunes and then realize that, oh boy, that's gonna hurt. Okay, that is really enough for today. I hope to have better news and better reports next week, and I hope everybody's getting into the Christmas spirit. It's been raining and cold here, which is kind of really nice. I also had camera problems. Let me not even go there. It's a good thing I've got a few spares, but this video might look a little different than some of the others because I had to pull one out of the mothballs because the one I'd been using for the last few months started putting lines in things. You may have noticed. Look at last week's news. There's a little sketchy line that goes through it, and I think that's actually in a lot of things from the last couple of weeks, unfortunately. So let's see. This song has been running through my head. Now this is going to be a serious mystery song. Something like that. But name that tune in like just two measures or something. The hint I will give you is they had a couple really famous songs. Husband and Wife, San Francisco-based band that the band broke up pretty much when the husband and wife broke up. But they had a classic and a few others that are pretty well known from the time. So, okay, that is it. It is December 11th, and hopefully by December 18th, things will be back closer to normal around here.